From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening here on Saturday evenings, LALATE, with exciting details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. In this recording, we'll be going over your monthly stimulus check that Democrats want you to have under the fourth stimulus package. The voting starting next week. Exciting details in this video as we go over the voting process, what Jalopal says about next week, and what the president does as well. I have all the exciting details and the calculations at hand. Then we turn to fifth stimulus, which heats up this fall with another stimulus check for next year, and raising your benefits lifetime. And the breaking news about this that came out of Wall Street and the Federal Reserve out of St. Louis, signaling your benefits could be going higher. I'll explain all the calculations in this video as well. And then in the middle of this video, we get thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars this weekend. Oh yes, you can. There's a lot of money available for you. It's a big Saturday evening. I'm excited for you. We're going to go over all the incredible details from the East Coast to the West Coast, from Wall Street to Main Street. These are the breaking details here on Evenings LALATE. Good evening, everybody. It's Saturday evening. Hope you're crushing the weekend. Hope you are crushing the weekend and the weekend is not crushing you. How's the weather where you are this Saturday evening? Jump in the live chat right now and tell me how the weather is and where you're watching from. It got cooler here. It started on Thursday and it stayed cooler. Saturday's been very chill, not as muggy as Friday. So I'm loving the weather. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, we'll be going over that monthly stimulus check that Democrats want you to get, and we're going to go over the voting process for next week and what the president said about calling the votes starting early next week, and what Jalopal wrote as well. A lot of breaking news you're going to hear this Saturday evenings. Then we turn to fifth stimulus. It heats up this fall with another stimulus check for next year and a raising up of your benefits lifetime with an incredible add-on that will see your benefits potentially go up 10%. Oh boy. And then in the middle of this video, we have a lot of money, thousands of dollars of viewers continue to get. I'm going to get you that money as well. It's a big day, and this is LALATE, the only 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons, just like right now. Right before this show was Afternoons LA, but right after this one is Overnight's Crypto. So stay with the show. It will start 6 seconds after this video is over. But subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Next stop, 1 million. Like this video. It helps deliver free pizza. Almost got you there. I think it works, though. I mean, I think it works for dim sum, and it should work for pizza as well. Hit that like on the video, and check back with me in 10 minutes. Tell me if it was pepperoni or the Hawaiian pizza they delivered. It's delicious. And then consider becoming a member. The membership link's in the top of the chat and the pinned comment. All right, let's get right into the details of that monthly stimulus check. House versus Senate. House bill, monthly. Senate proposal, monthly. But the amounts and the number of months differs. Let's look at them. House, pandemic plus 1 year, monthly. Senate, July to December, so less checks. Let's look at the monthly payouts. House, 1,000 after the first month of 2,000. Senate, unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Wow, that's a lot. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $80 for $100. That's per person. That's the Senate proposal. But let's go back to the House bill. The House bill may get modified because of the pandemic. Pandemic plus 1 year, well, some legislators may contend the pandemic's over. That would reduce the House bill to 12 months of stimulus checks over 12 months, which equals $13,000. Let's compare that to the Senate proposal. Over 6 months, I think you have an opinion. Yes, vote right now. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate. House or Senate, which one do you like, and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. How's the weather, and then House or Senate. Let's go over all the details you need to know on this big evening's broadcast tonight. First, who would get the fourth stimulus check? You would. Democrats want everyone who got a third stimulus check to get a fourth stimulus check. So single individuals, $75,000 or less, Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. Family of four, Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. The married couple, double it. The family of four, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, the Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, there you go. You all get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. The fourth stimulus check comes on a monthly basis. It does not come in waves. So this is not a waivable check. So if you go out to dinner this Saturday night and you're at the sushi bar and you say, "Hey, I see you got the that thing. What do you think, Mr. Check?" He'll reply back to me, "Darn him! I hope you choke on your ginger." It's not a waivable check. He can't wave at you, even when he's at the sushi bar with the ginger. He can't wave back at you. He's not a waivable check. So who else gets this fourth stimulus check? And when do you get it? Well, the Democrats represent that the fourth stimulus check would go out in the month of July because the final vote would be in the month of July. That means you get a check for July in July and in August for the month of August. And there you go. You can wave goodbye to the first of your three parts of your fourth stimulus check updated 2021 in this video. In the second part, we go over the big news from the White House and Jalopal, both speaking out about what's happening next week. And I'll explain to you details about what you should anticipate for the excitement of next week's vote. In the third part of this video, we go over the actual steps of the vote. And then we'll go over how quickly, how slowly, and how it gets done and how it gets modified. But first, here's a preview of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus will have another stimulus check, but will also have a raise of your benefits. Well, that raise of your benefits, if it's SSI to VA benefits, will be wonderful because it will be tied to inflation. And on Friday, we learned a little bit more about that inflationary benchmark. I have all the breaking news from the Federal Reserve out of St. Louis in this recording. But let's get some money. That's what I do on this channel, get people money. If you're new to LALATE, that's what I do. This is not the Stimulus Psychic Network. I'm not here to give predictions about stimulus. I'm not here to read news articles. Rather, I give people money. And as soon as third stimulus passes, I say, hey, there's a lot of money to get. And let's go over that money right now. It's a fortune. It's about $350 billion available for you from the city, county, and states. And it's landing for the federal government. So go get it because it's all for you, $350 billion. Yeah, not a penny for anyone else. It's, it's Publishers Clearinghouse. Just, you got to share the money. It's not all yours. This money is available for you for rent, for mortgage assistance, and also for homeowners' utilities. It's a lot of money. And that's what I do on this channel. I give people money. I got people $25 million for EIDL loans to save their businesses and homes and their employees' homes in spring of last year. And then in fall of 2020, it was just like now. We were waiting for another stimulus package to pass. And people needed money. So I got people $250,000 of rent and utilities. It's time to do it again. That's what we've been doing on this channel. So get a pen and paper ready. And if it must be a Crayola crown, at least match the host's pink shirt, please. So get a pen and paper, Crayola crown ready because I got a lot of money to get with you. Stay with us to the very end of this extended evening's broadcast. It starts right now with that rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And the rent is a lot. It's about $5,000 of rent, 4 to 6 months of rent. So here you go. You're going to reach out to different places, and each place has different eligibility. So if one says no, don't worry, reach out to the next. All right, ready? You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. The key words you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Rent assistance because of COVID. You can also say mortgage assistance because of COVID. You don't say words that they don't know, like stimulus or Mitch's bikini parade. We don't know about that. And I don't think we do want to know about that. So don't say words that they don't know. There you go. I had one viewer on yesterday's show that said she reached out to her city and they didn't have anything. That's why you also have to reach out to the county and the state. In fall of last year, we had that problem a lot in states like Louisiana, where there was nothing locally, but at the state housing authority, there was a lot of money. So always reach out to the different places. And congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this money. But boy, the next pot of money has been an inspiration. If you have gotten any money for this channel, jump into the live chat right now. Post whatever you got, whether it's $100 or $100,000, because it inspires me and inspires other viewers to get the money. I got inspired this week as one viewer got $5,000 from this next pot of money. One viewer last week got $6,000. What is it? It's SNAP. It's money for food from Department of Agriculture. Reach out to Department of Agriculture to get this money. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, for her son, and her mom. Gail got it. It's incredible. How much does it pay? A lot. $16,000 a year approximately for family of 4 in Hawaii. Why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders. One from Biden, one from Trump that raised your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. There you go. $16,000 for SNAP for a family of 4 in Hawaii. $5,000 for rent approximately. We're killing it. You're killing it. We're only 11 minutes of this video. Well, I got more money for you right now, and it's about $5,000. Where is it from? It's from your states. The states have been ordered to return money back to you that they overpaid you at some point and asked to return to them because of computer error. Not your computer. Your computer works fine, please. It's their darn computer. The federal government said, no, that was the citizens' money to return it, and that was your computer to fix. So return the money back to them. One viewer got $5,000 for this. So where are you going to get it? Direct deposit the account you have on file with your state's unemployment department. When are you going to get the money? Reach out to your respective state for routing times. And when you do, say, hi, I want to get a routing information about my check. And don't check it with that computer that doesn't work. There you go. Which brings us to the last pot of money, and that big pot of money is coming from the federal government. If you got this money, jump in the live chat right now. It is money for your unemployment refund. It's coming this month. Let's go over how much, when, and where, and how to track it. First, how much? Let's say you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000 of taxes on that tax return, $4,000 of which was taxes for unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you're getting back $4,000. Where? To the account you have on file, if it's direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. When? This month. Can you track it? Yes. About 70% of the time you can. Go to irs.gov. Go in there and do a transcript search. And 70% of the time, it reveals everything you need to reveal. First, it'll show the tax return you filed. Second, it'll show the taxes you paid. Third, it'll show the pizza you ordered for yesterday. Fourth, it'll show the tostada you ordered for me. And then after that, it'll show the refund check getting back to you about 70% of the time. And there you go. That is your fourth. That is the exciting details about the money coming back to you. But can we get better than that? We can't get better than that. And it's the second of our 3-part update about your 4th stimulus check of 2021, starting right now. And boy, here we go. The voting is starting. The voting is starting next week. The voting starts on the 4th stimulus check package by reconciliation with the Democrats. The president last week said, start the vote. Start the vote, and then when it started next week. So this week it's started. But how did we get to that point? We got to that point with incredible comments from Jalapal and the president and another progressive late this week. So let me explain to you what the comments said, and then let me read you the comments, then let me explain to you what the comments said. Last night, a lot of viewers were confused by the comments because they're double negative quotes. I don't not like, you don't like. Yeah, so it's sometimes when you hear it, you're like, wait, that was a double negative. I'm confused. So I will explain to you the quotes after I read them to you. First, Jalapal said that the White House has not in any way told us progressives not to do what we're doing. Wow, that's wonderful. Then Brian Schatz, Democrat of Hawaii, said the White House has repeatedly reassured him that the White House considered the progressive priorities their own priorities, and that the White House has not asked progressives to stop doing what they're doing. Wow, that's wonderful news. Now let me explain what that means and what's going on here. 4th stimulus has 2 provisions in there that the president says do it or I veto. And what are the 2 provisions he wants in there? Remember, he's the president. He does not draft the bills. He does not call the vote. He just asks for things. And if those 2 things are not in there, he will veto. He will block the bill. So what are the 2 provisions he absolutely needs to have in there? They're both progressive policies. And the first one is climate. The second one is the CARES economy, which is not CARES Act 1 from last year. It is money for seniors and medicine. He has to have those 2 provisions in there. Otherwise, he's going to veto the bill. Those 2 provisions are are progressive policies. Now, here is where it gets wonderful. The president has been in communication with progressives and saying, I thank you, progressives, for pushing those two progressive policies that I went in there to the finish line. So the progressives understand the president wants those two progressive policies in there, and they are pushing it to the finish line, and he's loving that they're doing that. On the other hand, the president is also saying to the progressives, and I know you have other progressive policies which you want to insert in the fourth stimulus package which you're writing. Go right ahead, because I'm loving what you're doing for me. And that other provision, that is a progressive provision that the progressives are adding to the policy, to the fourth stimulus, is the monthly stimulus checks. There you go. Progressives putting monthly stimulus checks in there for their progressive policy, and progressives putting in the climate and the CARES economy for the president's progressive policies. And together, they are both liking each other's support of one another over the finish line. It's wonderful news. So how do we get to this wonderful place? We started the Friday before Memorial Day weekend when Chuck Schumer announced three things which I've been reporting on this channel. Number one, the reconciliation vote will end by July 4th. Number two, it will finish by July 4th with an approval, and that the reconciliation process were already underway. Well, how did we get to that point? We got to that point from, again, Jalapa. Schumer was in receipt of a letter from Jalapa in which she wrote, Chuck, call the vote on the recon. Now, the letter was co-signed by 12 House Democrats, who are among the 100-plus House Democrats who had written the president a letter about a week earlier saying, Mr. President, when we do the fourth stimulus, we're going to be putting monthly stimulus checks in there. Wow, now that's wonderful. Can we top that news? We can. We can top that news. When about a week ago, 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter. Say, Mr. President, when we write the fourth stimulus, we're going to put monthly stimulus checks in that fourth stimulus package. Who are these people to say that? What do you do for a living? What do you mean they say they're going to be writing it? What did they do? Well, these are the people that are on the House subcommittee that is solely exclusively responsible for writing stimulus checks in the U.S. Congress, House of Representatives. Really? Did they write our first stimulus check? They did. Did they write our second stimulus check? They did. Did they write our third stimulus check recently? They did. And now they say they're currently marking up the bill. And they claim they're putting monthly stimulus checks in there. Oh my goodness. That's wonderful news. But are they doing a fifth stimulus check as well? They are. That's coming up in the second half of this video. It's wonderful news. But can we top that? We can. President has done it. Biden has done it. A week ago today, he went overseas and got an international agreement which anchors fourth stimulus right to the edge of the finish line. Because the provisions are no longer needed in fourth stimulus, they're now covered by the international agreement. I'll go over all those details starting right now, but going back to where it started. It started on a recent Tuesday ago in which I told you the president had done something wonderful, but incredibly confusing. So I wanted to explain it to you by slowing it down. So let me slow it down again right now. Fourth stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate. It's the tax rate that corporations pay in the United States. But the president had said at the time, he was worried that if he raises the corporate tax rate, businesses may leave the United States and go overseas to find a lower corporate tax rate in another country. To which the president reached out to those other countries and said, let's raise the minimum corporate tax rate so we don't have businesses leaving different countries. And those countries agreed. To which the president then reached out to his legislative team at the time, that recent Tuesday ago, and said, well, we got agreement tentatively. Let's get those G7 countries to sign on the dotted line around December. And then we can exchange some flavored caramel popcorn for Christmas. And then once they do that, we can remove those provisions for fourth stimulus. Well, the president surprised us. Not with the popcorn, no. But I think it was a popcorn moment. What did the president do? A week ago today, the president, in his first international trip overseas as president, went and got those countries to sign on the dotted line now, last Saturday. Not in December, but before fourth stimulus is passed, which enables him to anchor fourth stimulus to the edge of the finish line, because now the provisions about corporations and international taxes are covered into that international agreement. He doesn't need them in the fourth stimulus package anymore, making it easier for the Democrats to pass the fourth stimulus package. Wow, now that is wonderful, wonderful news. And can we top that? We can. With the third part update of this fourth stimulus check 2021 recording. It's coming up after the commercial break with exciting details about this stimulus. Boy, they are exciting. But the only thing better than that is the volunteers. If you need help with rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, or internet, reach out to the community page and the volunteers. They are salt of the earth. They embody the true Purple Power spirit. They're there to help you find that money. And how do you find them? Open the description of this video. Go down the description. You'll see an emoji of a house. Next to that emoji of a house will be a link to news.lalate.com/community, the community page. Reach out to the volunteers on the community page. They're separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They'll be able to help you get that rent, that internet, that SNAP, and also that mortgage assistance. They cannot make you some tostadas. They cannot take out your dry cleaning. And they cannot walk your dog. So don't ask them to do something that's not listed in this video. But other than that, maybe they know directions to Mitch's bikini shop. And with that, I'll be back in 60 seconds with the second half of your fourth stimulus and third stimulus checkout. Fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus update in this video. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on evenings LALATE this Saturday evening. Boy, a lot of exciting details about your fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus coming up in the second half of this video. I'm excited to deliver them to you. Right after this video is over, stay with it. 6 seconds after the video is over, it'll automatically take you to Overnight's Crypto, about to play live on this channel. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. And once you're part of this family, hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video. Pepperoni's on its way. Liking the video delivers free pizza. And consider becoming a member of Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calzino VIP. And let's get into the big details about fifth stimulus. There's a lot of breaking news about fifth stimulus. I'm really excited about it. First, there will be a fifth stimulus check, we have learned. Those Democrats in the House will be putting a fifth stimulus check in there for 2022. The call for the vote around November of this year. The writing and drafting and starting in September. There you go. Second, exciting news from the president, dedicating $1 billion to SSI and SSDI reform in the form of new processes at the administration. He's ramping up payroll and staffing and computers to ensure you get fourth stimulus checks, fifth stimulus checks, benefits checks on time. No more of that horribleness from third stimulus about where's my stimulus check from Direct Express by Comerica. That's all going away. And then finally, the big news, the benchmark of inflation. This stimulus involves that raising up of your benefits if you're on SSI and SSDI and applying a benchmark. But boy, that benchmark of inflation got a lot of surprising breaking news this week. First, the consumer price index and producer price index number came in and it was real red hot. How red hot? Well, this is what happened. Wall Street insiders looked at it and said, the inflation rate now is higher than we thought. So we're looking at maybe 4% now, they thought, and that we're going up, and then we're reaching a high point, a transitory or temporary spike, and then coming down. And that high point may be 10%, and then coming back down. Well, Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, testified on Wednesday and said, I don't want to talk about inflation. but I think the economy still needs more support. That was good news. And then he says, I think there will be 2 interest rate spikes in 2 years from now. Well, then on Friday, the head of the Federal Reserve out of St. Louis, who is below Jay Powell, came out on broadcast news and said, inflation's coming in too hot. Oops, sorry, you're not supposed to say that. Yeah. And then he says, I think those 2 inflation spikes will come next, interest rate spikes will come next year. Ooh, you're not supposed to say that either. Well, that brought Wall Street down sharply, but it also gave renewed hopes that your benefits may be much higher than we thought. Let's go over how this now plays out with all these details. Their stimulus heats up by raising up your benefits, and let's go over the calculation so you understand how this works. First, they're going to raise your benefits up to a big new number. They're going to apply an inflationary benchmark, and they'll remove the asset limits. Then they're going to remove the income exclusion and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over how this works. First, this stimulus will raise your benefits up a lifetime. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, they'll be raised up a lifetime. Then they will apply the benchmark. The benchmark is applied every December for next year's benefits. Well, here's the big issue, is that you're going to hope that that inflationary spike hits around November, December, because if it does, oh boy, let me show you what's going to happen. Your benefits would jump up next year 10% if it falls exactly when that benefit spike hits. But not just next year, lifetime. So there you go. This is really exciting news. You want to hope that the inflationary benchmark hits at the same time that inflation spike happens later this year. Next, under fifth stimulus, they're going to remove the asset cap. Just time to get those stimulus checks in your hand. You currently can't have more than $3,000 in a hand. Next, they're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that you can't stay on benefits and also work. They're going to remove the marriage penalty. So love is going to win. You'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and no longer fear loss of benefits across the board. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to marry and no longer fear loss of benefits. And there you go. That is fifth stimulus. But boy, there's a lot of other money in fifth stimulus besides that. A lot of other money in fourth stimulus. And there's thousands of dollars for you to get under third stimulus potentially. How do you get that money? By consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. In the pinned comment as well. Members are delivered from me daily, a breakdown of everything that's in third stimulus so they know the money they can go get. Fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus. There's thousands of dollars and it's mostly application based. So it's important to consider becoming a member. If you're looking at the live chat right now, people with a purple hawk next to their names are members. Which brings us now to the final part of our fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. A lot of breaking news, and boy, it's exciting. I'm going to be going over 4 parts. First, personal message. Second, calling the vote. Third, fake narrative. And finally, the exciting details about Purple Hawks. All right, first, the first thing, personal message. Well, it's important to know that you should never be speculating, guessing, or asking sort of ancillary taco stand holder or taco guy at the corner or the guy that makes your donuts. What do they think about the fourth stimulus? Because they don't know. It is not a speculative or a psychic event. And that's why this channel is not the psychic stimulus channel. I'm not here to predict the future of legislators. No one knows what's going to go on with legislators except the legislators. All we can do is know what they're doing at a particular moment. That's my job here, is to tell you every single thing that they're doing at a particular moment. So it's important to stay on focus with that. It's also important to understand that they're currently marking up the bill. And by marking up the bill, that means that they have a piece of paper, a draft of the bill in their hand, and they got a pen in the other hand. At any time, that pen could be turning on 2 sides. One side has ink. The other side has an eraser. So they could be taking that eraser to the draft and erasing away something you like and one in there. Or they could be taking the pen side and writing something in. So it's not a place or time or ever an effort to say, what do you think? Do you predict? I heard. I think. I predict. I know. It's not anything you're going to hear from my mouth. It's not anything you should say from someone else's mouth, because it's not a speculative event. It's rather a legislative event. They mend things, they add things, they remove things, and they finish things. And they're far from finished. That's why we have 2 emojis on this channel that we did a lot in second and third stimulus. So continue to use those emojis if you see people trying to do that. Hash the emoji, it's not bill yet. And emoji, it's not law yet. Let's go over the 9 voting steps, which is important to know. And boy, at every step of the voting process, you should probably be using the emoji. It's not bill yet, and it's not law yet. The first half are procedural, second half are substantive, but the big ones you want to watch are steps 5, 7, and 8. All right, step 1. The House subcommittee calls a procedural vote. Step 2, the House floor calls a procedural vote. Step 3, the Senate calls a procedural vote. Step 4, the President signs into law the procedural bill. At that point, the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Time to go back and get the tow hitch. Here we go. Step 5. The House subcommittee, which could put the monthly stimulus check in there, calls it for a vote. That's why it's important to wait to see what they do on that step. But that is not the final step either. Step 6, the House calls the vote on the substantive bill. Step 7 and 8, the critical steps, 2 steps, at which the senators do the 2-day vote-a-rama. They receive whatever the House bill has in there. 3 possibilities. Number 1, the House bill has no stimulus checks in there. The senators can amend and add them in there. Possibility number 2, the House bill has stimulus checks in there. The senators love it, they leave it alone. Or possibility number 3, the House bill has stimulus checks in there. The senators can go in and amend it and change it. That is why until that 2-day vote-a-rama, it's literally 2 emojis. Not bill yet and not law yet. Anything could change in that 2-day vote-a-rama. It should change this way and could change that way. And finally, step 9, the President signs into law. There you go. It is bill law, and it is bill now. And there you go. Those are the 9 steps, which brings me next to fake narratives. There's going to be a lot of fake narratives next week. And here's a personal message. And I want to say this in a very polite way, because I've seen it from some comments. I'm going to say a very, 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 very polite way, as polite as I can say it. There are some people who are not subscribers and not members who don't like this president. And because they don't like this president, they want to tell you you're never getting anything good from him. And so they jump into some of the comments, or they send me private messages, and I see what type of people they are. And they say, this president's not giving anyone anything, so don't think he is. And they pride themselves on making you feel as though you are not getting anything from this guy because they don't like him. So I hope that if you are a viewer that is watching this video and you act like that, that you just sort of back off, because this is not the place for this. I understand you don't like the president, but don't take your animosity from the president on the viewership, on other viewers, because they have nothing against you. If he does what he does, he does. But you could still support your candidate for the next presidential run. But it's also really important to know that the conservative media, right when second stimulus, right when third stimulus was going underway, did the same thing twice in a row, and I expect them to do it 3 times. What will they do the third time? They will take a token Democratic senator and tell you that the reconciliation process or the whole voting process or whatever part of the process is in is going to implode because they think this guy is going to turn on all the other Democrats. They do it every time, the conservative press. And it's a false narrative, and it's always false. So I fully expect them to run a Joe Manchin story again next week or the week after. Joe Manchin's passing for stimulus, folks. So that is a fake story. They're going to do it, and they're going to keep on doing it because they want that's the story. They get traction out of that story. It's not true. It's a fake story. The strange other story, which is really, really strange. It's actually a true story, but what's coming out of the people's mouths is untrue. Is there are certain Democrats who will say, unless you put in my Brussels sprouts law, I'm not voting in favor of this. They do this every time. There's always a couple of Democrats that say, I have this windmill, electric windmill provision in which you get free Crayola crowns when the windmill turns left. And unless you put that in there, I'm holding my ground. I'm not voting in favor of this. And they do it every time. Certain Democrats do this. And as soon as the vote calls, they say, I'll try it next time. They just fold like a launcher. So they start that on Friday. Not necessarily for Cradle Crowns, but it's other stuff. And so I want you to think that that's much of nothing. It just happens. We did this with minimum wage 2-3 times. I'm not voting unless it's minimum wage, and then they vote. So I expect that to happen as well. Finally, Purple Power, you're doing a wonderful job. You understand how this really is, how this plays out. One, there is a flux. There is an amending process going on. There is marking up bills. They are in flux. They have not made any finality of anything until the final 48 hours. And so your voice is critical. Your voice is incredible. And I've seen you doing a superb job. So go on social media, keep on doing that. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Tag Democratic senators, tag Democratic House members. Also tag progressives. Also tag progressive Twitter accounts like the House Progressives Caucus, its chair, its vice chair. Then also remember to retweet other Purple Powers tweets, because it's very easy. You just search on Twitter for hashtag MSC and see other people's tweets, and then just retweet. You can do 100 retweets in just a few minutes. Always remember to not do too many tweets in a short period of time. It's not allowed on the system. You have to give it like a minute or two, or 30 seconds. Don't tweet too quickly. And then finally, if you're not used to social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, use the telephone. Call up your elected officials in their Washington office. Talk to the staffer. Don't leave voicemails. Talk to the staffer and express to them why it's important. We know it's important. Why? Because on Thursday, the new jobless claims number was released in America. And boy, this is the number for people newly unemployed. They were never unemployed before during this pandemic. This is their first time unemployed, and the number went up. It shows you we need stimulus. As Jerome Powell said on Wednesday, he is still supporting this economy all the way into next year. So we need this stimulus. And with that, thank you for joining me on a big evening's broadcast. Stay with me right on this video. Stay with this video. 6 seconds after it's done, you don't have to do anything. You can just lift your hands and wait for that pizza delivery. The video will take you automatically into Overnight's Crypto, and there's free pizza there as well. So with that, make sure you subscribe if you've not already subscribed. 400,000 subscribers. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful evening. Stay here as Overnight's Crypto starts next, and stay with LALATE.